Yes, it is true because India is in the grip of Hindu majoritarianism, and RSS particularism has taken over the inclusive ethos of Nehruvian secularism, and India no longer is the same country which believed in plurality and inclusiveness of all faiths, and the center of gravity that was the secular constitutions have been torn to shreds by this ever mounting wave of caste based misanthropy, and which is a one small step but a big leap towards global terrorism. You see, India is in the grip of a historical revisionism, which is based upon this very exclusivist and dangerous creed, which is religious based nationalism. And that is Hindutva nationalism being actively propagated by Rashtriya Swayamsevak Sangh, which is an organization which does not believe in caste equality, which does not believe in the rights of minorities, and it does believe in India, which is culturally, religiously, and politically completely homogenized. It is an India in which there is no place for even Dalits, and what to talk of Christians and Muslims and Buddhists and Sikhs. The Dalits are at the receiving end. You must have heard about Manisha Devi, a famous activist, which has stated that 97 million Dalit women have been subjected to over 62,000 incidents of caste discrimination and violence. So, where there is no space for even Hindu Dalits, what to talk of minorities? And the minorities are continually at a receiving end, and they are being forced to culturally and religiously homogenize. And there are acts like Waqf Act 2025, Uniform Civil Code, Citizenship Amendment Act, National Register Citizen. So these are all legal based uh, cultural and political assaults upon the identities of the minorities. The Christians have been at the receiving end. You must have seen during this December, on the eve of Christmas, it was a macabre spectacle that the Christmas celebrations, those were being vandalized, attacked by the RSS activists, and under the benign glare of the BJP government, which is supporting all this, and it is supporting because its ideologues have, uh, imbued the whole population with a sense of nationalism, and that nationalism is begotten out of centuries of humiliation, and that is a cathartic anger that is being directed against the minorities. So this is something very dangerous happening in India, and had it remained confined to minorities, that would have been of no concern to the outside world. But the same hatred and the same ideology and the same attitude is externalized, and India, as you know, has strained relations with all the countries in South Asia. Bangladesh, Pakistan, Sri Lanka, Nepal, they are all at the receiving end. And it is all a consequence of this all conquering and all consuming hatred towards other creeds and religions. So, this is something that the world should stand up and take notice. So that is exactly in accord with their oft repeated Ghar Wapsi concept, which says that all invaders who came, regardless of the time scale, and they are continually revising the history, giving their own version, in which they say that all those faiths, which are either Abrahamic, like Christians, like Muslims, and even Sikhs, so those are not in accord with the Puritanism that the Hindu laws of Manu Smriti believe in, which believe in a strict code of Manu, which celebrates caste-based stratification, and in which there is no place for the minorities. Now they are coming up with something very sinister, Vikash Bhartiya J. Ram Act, which is uh, giving jobs on the basis of Hindutva ideology, that those in the rural areas, those who will believe in Hindutva ideology, would only be entertained, and anybody which diverts away from this ideology will be given no jobs. So this is in direct contrast to the Gandhi and Nehruvian ideals of caste inclusivism, and this is going to cause an internal implosion, because India itself is now under the grip of inequality, uh, joblessness, inflation, and the number of billionaires is increasing. The top 1% appropriate 40% of the national wealth, and the bottom 40% only have 10% of the national wealth. So this is creating a groundswell of hatred. So any implosion can occur, and but in order to cover that, they cleverly direct the anger of the masses towards communal issues, and that is why the state of minorities is very precarious. Uh, Recently in Geneva, there was a minorities convention in which the six NGOs, those came up with their depositions, and the members of Indian minorities, Christians, Dalits, they also came up with their depositions, and those conclusions resulted in downgrading of Indian human rights organizations several notches. And also, the Indian judiciary was termed unable to uphold the justice. And this is the conclusion of independent NGOs, which view the international scene purely on the basis of merit. And the incidents of violence against minorities, especially the Muslims and the Christians, were highlighted. And Christian churches, those were vandalized. 3,000 Muslim mosques are under the scrutiny, and which include such revered and architectural marvels like Gyan Vapi Mosque in Varanasi, Shahi Idgah Mosque. So they very cleverly go about this business by first uh, declaring a place as constructed on a erstwhile Hindu shrine, and then they co-opt the architectural survey of India, and that whole institutions, those are compromised. So they play ball, and that shrine is declared uh, constructed on a erstwhile Hindu shrine. So you see, if you keep digging in down the strata, you will find some kind of a ruin. So they don't care which ruin was that, and they cleverly relate it to a Hindu shrine. And from there onwards, the mad hordes of Hindu RSS militants, those are let loose on those mosques. So all those was chronicled, and the report of those NGOs and the UN Convention is quite scathing, and that's a damning indictment of the kind of Hindutva madness India is sunk in. It is, you see the facts. United Christian Forum, that has clearly come up with the figures: 834 attacks in 2023-24. And then the Muslims have come up with the figures: 78 cow lynching incidents, in which only 12% conviction rate, which means that anybody can go and declare somebody as uh, you know somebody who is violating their code, and the mad mobs are let loose on them. So if the conviction rate is so low, that means their justice institutions are completely compromised. So where's the hope for the minorities? So India is becoming a veritable dystopia, a place which is unlivable for minorities, and the world institutions and the international human rights organizations have to stand up and take notice. That's a very clever attempt to, keep his uh, Hindu, rabid Hindu communal base secure, because he's not delivering on human security front. India, and he's in uh, cahoots with the big business. He's supporting the policies of exclusivism. The big business is being given extra benefits, and which do not translate into the benefits for the common people. So the gaps between haves and have-nots is increasing. So in order to keep people uh, in tow, he comes up with these Hindutva narratives of imagined Indian glory and making India great again. So this message resonates with his rapidly fanatic Hindutva uh, wing, and that is why you see that in every state, West Bihar, now Kerala, and from there Karnataka onwards, there's a continual cycle of elections going on in one state or the another. So, which means that round the round the year there would be communal tensions, which would be ratcheted up, because that's a communalism based violence strategy that Modi is following. So, exactly the answer to your question is that yes. This is message of hatred is being deliberately propagated by Modi to keep his right-wing Hindu base in tow. It is, in fact, Kashmir is a big open jail now. There are demographic changes being affected blatantly. There are laws like UAPA, the Public Safety Act, and all others, which are being used to change the demographics and the political identity of Kashmiris. Uh, all parties, Hurriyat Conference, Chairman Mir Farooq Wahez, he is not even allowed to come and lead the Friday prayers. So the basic rights are being compromised, and those who are erstwhile collaborators like the Saeed family and PDP, those are also now getting restive. And even the Chief Minister, Farooq Abdullah's son, Umar, he is also on record as having castigated these measures. And the complete change in the ownership pattern, the new citizenship laws, those are being violated, and the state subjects which were earlier protected through those special laws, their property is being snatched. So people are being who are non-subject Kashmiris are being given not only the citizenship, the voting rights, but the property is being snatched, which was pre-colonial times. Those rights were enshrined in the constitution of state of Jammu and Kashmir. And all this while it's a reality that Kashmir is a disputed region. So India has practically annexed, downgraded its status to a union territory. And now this continual campaign to divest the Kashmiris of their political, demographic, and cultural identity. So this is slowly going on, but Kashmiris they are up in arms. It's a lull of a graveyard, and uh, by no means Indians can claim that the Kashmir is a normal state. And at this point of time, there are so many hotbeds of resentment against the Indian occupation, which keep on erupting from time to time, and India cleverly externalizes it and directs those acts towards Pakistan. You see, it's very dangerous. At this point of time, as we speak now, India and Bangladesh relations are at their nether point, lowest point in decades. The reason is the Indian aggressive attitude and their maltreatment of Bengalis, those who had migrated generations ago to Assam. Those are being pushed back. Their identity is being snatched through National Register of Citizens, and active campaign of disenfranchising them by denying them their citizenship and then pushing them back into Bangladesh. After that, what they have done by way of a political asylum to leader, which was excoriated for her repressive rule in Bangladesh, and that repressive rule was kept in place with active Indian collisions, and Bangladeshis have not forgotten that. So this kind of an attitude, now the Bangladesh government today probably has decided not to participate in Indian Premier League also. So this is an indication that when the sports ties are severed, which means that there is a distrust and antipathy which has been boiling over, and it is all a consequence of Indian ham-handedness, their overbearing attitude, their negative policies vis-a-vis the neighbors, and the Bangladeshis have been at the receiving end for far too long. But now Bangladesh has realized that they should stand up to India, and the current upheaval in Bangladesh is a consequence of the same. Exactly. And that is why India is a clear and present danger to South Asia's security. Instead of being a net security provider, it is now a net insecurity provider. The way they are supporting the proxies like BLA and TTP, that indicates a lot about their negative machinations. And instead of acting as a stabilizer, the biggest country which could have acted as a foil for all the countries, it is now completely destabilizing the country through proxy warfare. It's actively supporting the proxy warfare as per the Doval Doctrine, which believes in leading countries like Pakistan through thousand cuts. And he is on record having stated on public fora. So this, unfortunate, is the reality. And unless India brings about a complete sea change into its policies, the region would remain on the boil and in the grip of instability. You see, India and its present government has made no bones about destabilizing Pakistan, and they will always look for any vulnerability to exploit while harming Pakistan. And they have been doing that. They have been doing that through their proxies, proxy support to entities like BLA, Fitnatul Khawarij, operating from Afghanistan, and they are encouraging the Taliban government, which is being isolated abroad, to stand up and be active in its support to those proxies and non-state actors which are a clear and present danger to the entire world, like Al Qaeda, ISKP, ETIM, IMU, operating all from Afghan soil. And India is actively supporting that. So India is colluding with the terrorist non-state actors, which the world has sanctioned, and that's a reality. So Indian leadership's present attitude is clearly directed at destabilization of Pakistan. Until the time there is a complete shift in their attitude, I think we need to be very careful, and we should keep sensitizing the entire world and international uh, organizations of the Indian intentions. There's no denying the fact that we have to have a very strong, solid, conventional as well as the strategic deterrence to ward off the Indian designs, and our preparedness and our ability to deter India is our strongest defense. And the way we have uh, achieved those capabilities, I think India knows it very well that in all multi-domain warfare domain, Pakistan stands far ahead of India because of its very close collaboration with China, which has helped Pakistan a great deal, and also Pakistan's indigenous capability. That Pakistan learned the lessons in earlier wars that unless you are indigenously capable, nobody will come to your rescue. And Pakistan now has achieved indigenous capacity in its missile assets, into its conventional force assets, as well as strategic. Our net-centric warfare was showcased during Operation Sindoor very effectively, and that was a very effective showcasing of our multi-domain fusion capacity, in which a net-centric force trumped a platform-centric force that was India. We should keep our powder dry, and intentions can change, but capability does not. The way Indians are preparing, the way they are marshalling and orchestrating their force structure, the way they are configuring their conventional forces into those small uh, attack elements, which are being called Rudra brigades, a composite force comprising missiles, drones, and mechanized formations to carry out forays inside Pakistan effectively. And then they are also making no bones about their intentions time and again. And remember that they are a wounded entity. Their pride has been badly hurt 6 times and 10 times in terms of military prowess and population, which is humbled at the hands of Pakistan. I think it rankles with their hubristic sensibilities, and they are out to seek revenge. So I would not like to make a prediction, but they would try definitely whenever they find that we are weak and there is an opportunity. And if there is no opportunity, they would try and create those opportunities. So we have to keep our powder dry and remain prepared.